Good afternoon, everybody. It's almost 3 o'clock. 16th of April, 2025. Wow. You can hear that guy from a mile away, that motorcycle. Anyway, I'm holding this camera close because I'm near a road and it rains. Streets are wet, so it makes it even louder. And I'm in Nyamiga. Let's show you some of these places here. If you can look over the top of this bridge, the bus just went by. That's where that KFC is at. It's the most photographed KFC on Earth. And I'll pan around a little. This is the head church of the Orthodox churches in Belarus, here in Minsk. And I am going on the other side. There's an area right over here, as you're looking at it right now. That's some of the buildings. And some did not get destroyed in World War II. Actually, it's a little quieter now. So anyway, there's a bookstore in one of those buildings, and they have even some old Soviet things there. I don't know if I film in there. Maybe they don't like that. But I'm going to go inside there anyway. I'm looking for a particular type of book. See some of them. Oh, made in Minsk. This bus here, as most all of them are. Okay. And this area right here, you know, if you're here in the summertime, you can get paddle boats. I was in an area before, and I don't think they had paddle boats there ever, even in the summertime. I'm not sure, maybe not that many. But here, you can rent them out. Probably that little wharf right there, that little blue thing, probably where they have those. So you rent them out and you paddle around here on boats. I think stuff you kick with your feet, or I don't know if they have like kayaks and things. I can't quite remember. And not too far from here, as a matter of fact, we're looking at it sort of right there, part of the areas where they have like little restaurant shops, sort of the deals. I feel terrible, I don't know the name, but that's where, you know, you find all the gold digger women over there. And I think a lot of them maybe already have, I don't know, it's, you know, you see some there and they have their, I don't know if you call them clients or whatever, and they fly them to like some places in the Arabic countries, Bahrain or whatever, and they meet their guys down there and then they fly back. Maybe they know different guys, different types. So these girls, and I think they maybe go there, maybe to meet more guys. I have no idea, like the Arabic guys will fly them down for maybe 3 days or 2 days or whatever, and then they fly back, have enough money to, I don't know, to live on and go to the expensive restaurants and meet more guys. I think that's how that's done. So you see a lot of these women like that there. And then some of them are just starting out maybe, and they're looking for other guys. And of course there's a casino there as well, and maybe they meet some rich Russian men there too. So it's kind of a pickup place for wealthier women, and I don't know, guys. The guys do the pickup, I guess, and not just Arabic men, maybe Russian or whoever. Anyway, that's where they go over there. Maybe in the summertime I'll walk through there, and at nighttime, of course, there's some somewhat regular people all hanging out there, but I'm talking about late afternoons. You'll see these women, you know, that are there for their meals or whatever, that have a lot of money from the men that are paying them for whatever they do to get that money. I don't know, I guess. So here we go. It's what is this called? The Knizhnaya Krama, probably Belarusian. Anyway, place to get books. I don't know. I doubt if I can film. I'll just probably put this on stop for a moment here. Hi everybody, good afternoon. It's Wednesday, 16th of April, 2025. I just made a little film. I don't know if I can attach that to this one or not. I went into a bookstore. I didn't show much. I just went to look into the bookstore very shortly, but looking for some kind of a book. But I'm in Nyamiga, and yeah, I didn't say anything about news or nothing, but I'll do a little bit of talking here. Some things I didn't say. That first little clip I made that was a couple of minutes long. So just get into some of the news. Okay, right away. Okay, there's the church anyway, and in case I don't put that other part on when I walk over here. Okay, Witkoff, the envoy for Ukraine and all that. Well, Trump's envoy anyway. He says we're on the verge of a permanent ceasefire. I mean, as if you haven't heard that one before, right? We're right on the edge of having a minerals deal. We're right just about going to have this, and I'm going to end this in 24 hours. I'll end this before I get in office, you know, Trump was saying. Anyway, things aren't working out the way they wanted. Things are a little bit more complicated than they say, you know, but it looks, as far as most of these trade deals are concerned, as far as the tariffs, it looks like pretty much everybody's gotten in line, and now Canada's on their knees. He said they're going to be really tough. We're going to hit them hard. We're going to hit them high. We're going to hit them low. Hit them hard. And, well, I guess Carney has decided he's not going to hit them very hard or very low. He's going to say, okay, well, let's make a deal. I guess. I don't know. The United States is one of the biggest markets in the world. You know, they buy the most stuff from everybody. Big box stores and all that sort of thing. Still, even though things are failing a little bit now, they're going downhill. Okay, so I don't know about any kind of a permanent ceasefire. You never know. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. So the new trial for Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, I guess, the guy from Hollywood, are out there, and those days, you know, it's kind of, you know, there's a little bit of humor involved, I guess, anyway. But he's begun, I guess, a new retrial for all of these women that have accused him of sexual misconduct. And, you know, I mean, they're probably mistaken. I mean, there's only 80 of them, 80 women, you know. I mean, it's probably just some kind of a misunderstanding. 80, you know, 80 women. Yeah. I wonder if he's gay. He's got a lot of money. I wonder if I can get something out of him. I wonder if I can do a circus seal on the guy, or, I mean, not to actually do it, but say that we were doing it, or say he did it to me. I guess that's a better thing. See if I can get some money out of the guy. Be some kind of a gold digger, you know. I don't know, maybe a Stormy Daniels type of affair here. Anyway, gosh, it's windy, it's terrible. Bad weather. We've had such nice weather lately here. I think it's about 8 degrees or 9. It's not really nice. Yesterday was t-shirt weather. Okay. Anyway, that's Weinstein. Zelensky, he didn't like what Witkoff said, you know, that it's close to some sort of a deal. He said of a permanent ceasefire, and Zelensky didn't like that at all, because he said they're not going to give up on any of these territories. He's going to keep on, it's going to only be temporary, so it's not going to be permanent. You know, I wonder if Russia should have said that when they attached, you know, the various leaders of the Soviet Union attached all of these different parts of different countries and all over the place to make up this country that exists kind of now, called Ukraine. And I wonder, maybe those people want their territories back as well. So, you know, you have endless war. You know, if you're a Nazi, I guess they kind of like that sort of thing, you know. Oh, look at the nice grass here. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, he said that Witkoff was speaking outside of his competence. So they have no intention of a permanent ceasefire is what it's all about. And Russia has intentions of only a permanent ceasefire. So I guess there's kind of a difference of opinion right there, isn't there? Yeah. Okay. You know, already talked about Carney. I was going to say that, you know, I don't know if China's going to be next in bending. I don't know. It seems like China's a little bit different. They have quite a few more cards than Canada, so maybe they're not going to go into that. Kaya Kallas, Wow, she has warned. She's warning. I think she warns every country. I think, you know, about the consequences of the powerful European Union. But I believe she's mostly talking about any of the countries in the European Union or those that want to become a part of the Soviet Union. I don't know that. I wonder, is that really true that Serbia wants to become a part of the Soviet Union, but Slovakia is already in there, and I don't know. I was hearing also that very possibly Orban was going to go to Moscow, but apparently not. But Fico said he's going to go, and most of this was geared at Fico. Robert Fico from Slovakia, the president, or the guy in charge there, whatever his title is at the moment. And he said he's going to go and nothing's going to stop him. He's actually a very independent thinking guy. You know, I like Fico, and a lot of people that really, you know, look at various leaders, what they say, and, you know, what they preach and they practice. And Fico, he's one of the best. He's just, his country's not so big or nothing. He's the kind of guy that you want in charge of, like, Germany or something like that. But matter of fact, Merz, maybe they want to trade Merz in for Fico, Robert Fico. Anyway, Kaya Kallas says there's going to be some kind of a serious consequences if Fico goes to Moscow, you know, and it kind of commemorates the defeat of the Nazis. Mostly that the Soviet Union defeated the Nazis at that time, you know, and that's the day they celebrate that on May 9th. And you know how the new Nazis, you know, like Kaya Kallas and Zelensky, you know, that they don't like that. You know, they're pissed off because they got defeated. And I say they because I'm talking about the ideology and not necessarily a country. But, you know, these are Nazis, and these Nazis, you know, the revitalization, you can call them neo-Nazis. Some people call them neo-Nazis. But anyway, that's who they are, and they don't like the fact that Russia has defeated them. And there's others as well. I'll get to that a little bit too. You know, they have, I think I might have even mentioned that in the last video, where you have, now they're listing about how many people are the various countries where a lot of these people that came and invaded Kursk region, where they come from. And of course the main country is obviously Poland. They have a lot. And the next one, of course, is Georgia. And Georgia, they got pissed off. I guess the Russians are putting out in their news that they're pissed off. I mean, not saying the government of Georgia, and maybe probably not the majority of the people, but some of those people there that are also want to be Nazis, you know, they're kind of ticked off, so they're fighting on the side of Ukraine. You know, they're fighting on the side of the Nazis, and there probably are Nazis, so that's why they are there and wanting to defeat Russia, because the Russians are the new Jews. You know, people have been saying that for some years now. But a lot of this is what Kaya Kallas, her threats for serious consequences. It's also aimed at Vucic. And if Vucic goes from Serbia, they're basically trying to say you're not going to get in the European Union because you're not part of our values, and our values is the Hate Russia Club. You're not going to, if you don't show you hate Russia, you're not in the Hate Russia Club. And that's the European Union. You know, we're the Hate Russia Club. You guys know the deal. Young girls looking at me over there. Woo! Anyway, you guys can't see it, but from too far away. Okay. Yes. But I guess he's going to be going too. Vucic. And what did he say? Oh, Fico, he said, this is 2025, it's not 1939. And Maria Zakharova, well, she said they behaved like Nazis. Well, yeah, I mean, did I just say that? Okay. Satan Yahoo, what's Satan Yahoo doing? He's having some advice. What was it? He said, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, blah, 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 it must be a duck. He's the one that said that. And he doesn't follow that advice either. But if you look at those people like Kaya Kallas and Ursula von der Leyen, Annalena Baerbock, you know, they should go look at ducks. Oh, that's not a duck, that's a pigeon. Don't try to fool me, you guys. I don't know, there's probably no ducks out here, at least not in this area. Water's a little bit too. There's some swans over there. Big ducks, you big ducks with long necks over there, you. I'm gonna, oh, wait a minute. No, that's a pigeon again. Dang, these pigeons. Better than the crows that are tearing up all the garbage in my normal walks, right? Okay. But yeah, Zelensky, he's going to get his green shirts out there. Remember in the World War II, they called them the brown shirts. That was, I guess, the lead up to Adolf taking power. You know, his I don't know if you call him ancestor or the guy he emulates was Adolf. Had the brown shirts, and old Z has the green shirts. Why do they have to take good colors? It pisses me off. I like brown, I like green. Okay, what else? Well, I don't know, I wrote here, he shows he seeks to get the territories back. Well, he doesn't make a secret of that. And he also seeks to get a surrender from Russia. He thinks that there's, I don't know, he's still going for hope, and they're snapping thousands of people up off the streets. Lots of videos going on, you know, people fighting and everything, and then they get 5 or 6 guys, they snap them up, and they're fighting them and pouring them into vans and pushing them in to go die to the, you know, as cannon fodder. Everybody knows that. Anybody that knows anything about the news, that's the great democracy. These volunteers that needs 5 guys to put them in the van to go to the front lines and die. Terrible. Oh, and Zelensky, I talked about Sumi the last video, and it was this new false flag deal, and Zelensky's in cover-up action right now. A lot of those people that are pissed off at what went on there, I mean, that there were civilians in that area, that they had civilians with military mixed. The ones that are ticked off, they're getting fired. So Zelensky's firing them because they didn't like that. Hey, look, looks like a walk, and it cracks like a drac, and a big like a, anyway, ducks. There's some ducks right there. It's a quacks like a rack. I mean, ducks like a, oh, look at that one. He's showing his BA for us. Anyway, digging for some worms. Okay. Anyway, those people got fired. I was also going to mention, you guys know that they were telling us that that this conflict in Ukraine would be over by April 20th. You know, that's what I said. I do this stuff on chronologically, but that was just a thought that I came up with. And you know, they're talking about, you know, we're almost there. We almost have a peace. We almost got the rare earth minerals. And Zelensky's stringing Trump along, but he doesn't want to drag, you know, show attention to that, because it makes him look like a real fool, that he can't close a deal with this guy, and he's talks, you know, he's the art of the deal, and he can't get a deal. I guess, you know, like I always say, Zelensky can write his own book, The Art of the Deal, because he's dragging it out, but he's not going to get what he wants. That's the difference. But he's living in hope, I suppose. Yeah. And at the meantime, Trump is still sending weapons. The USA is, I don't know if that's the call of the Congress, or is that old Donnie boy. But anyway, they're still giving them weapons. They're still giving them money, by the way. You know, but yet he has all the cards. Donald Trump. Anyway. But when I was mentioning these different countries that are all involved, you know, that they sent a lot of these mercenaries, you know, mercenaries that are being paid by the government, you know, like Poland, a lot of them. Not all these countries are, of course, but the U.S., I think the ones that are there, most of them probably are mercenaries. But, you know, they have to have U.S. soldiers there, apparently, to be firing off these HIMARS and ATACMS that Ukraine is probably still using. So there are probably still American soldiers there. I'm talking about official American soldiers. So, anyway. Okay. I have a... I'm not going to say that. Anyway. Lots of these people came from Colombia as well. Because Ukraine has a recruiting office there. What about Israel? I don't know. Israel, they're still doing some regular bombing. Yes, they're taking a huge portion of Gaza, you know, as security zones. And I heard that now they've divided Gaza up into 4 areas. So it's like any Palestinians wanting to move around inside of Gaza has to go through all of these 4 zones. So yeah, they're taking a huge swath of Gaza, apparently, at least the map I saw. Normally, if I tell you what, if I was running a really good site, I would be, and I had nothing else better to do, no Russian classes, nothing like that, I could be putting up a lot of these things on videos and showing you the map, at least the map that I was shown on some sort of article on Telegram of how Israel is taking over big portions. To me, it looks like it's nearly half of Gaza that they're taking, but it's probably maybe a little over 1/3 of it. You know how things get exaggerated a lot of the time. So anyway, and Trump is continuing to bomb. I think by now, what was it, 19 of these MQ-9 drones or whatever it's called there, that the sophisticated $30 million drones that the U.S. is sending there. And of course, they're bombing a lot of these places, and I don't think that the Houthis are backing down at all. So, these people are used to war. Like I said, it's the poorest country in the Middle East, and they just don't give a damn. So you can go ahead and keep bombing them. And Trump is using old tactics against, what would you call it, a new enemy. And one of their weapons is morals. The Houthis' weapons is morals. They have morality. And, Trump has a little bit of that when it concerns Ukraine, but he doesn't have any of that when it concerns the Middle East. You guys know that. So anyway, that's about it for this video. It's going to be quite short. What is it? So far, 16 minutes. I'm going to try to tack that other one, and I just walk into a bookstore and I'll show it to you guys in this video as well. I'd like to go inside. There's got a lot of old books, a lot of Soviet type books, a lot of books that look like they're really old, but they're not. You look inside and they're turning all yellowy, orangey, the pages and everything, but I think it's maybe because they didn't I don't know, use a lot of chemicals on the paper in the books or something like that. There's a good and a bad of being going green. So, and the Russians were doing that, I guess, a long time ago. So they were green. They were just using paper, and they turned all orange. I should have showed that in the books. I think I might have some at home, and I could show you guys. Even if they're not that old, they look like they're from 1800 or something. Anyway, that's it for today, and thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.